to be coming and doing another life update, get ready with me video quite so soon after the last one I did. But I do think that life just likes to sometimes throw curveballs in your way, and you've just got to get on with it. So my way of getting on with it is coming and sitting and talking to you guys and playing with makeup. So that is what we are gonna do today. But before we jump into that, I would love to know how you guys are doing. How's life treating you? How are things going in general? Let me know in the comments. It'd be really good to hear how everything is going. I hope you're having a better week than we have had. It's all good, it's just, yeah, things are not really going to plan at the moment. So yeah, I thought that we'd just sit down and play with some makeup and have a bit of a catch up. I'm probably not going to talk about the products that I'm using, so if there's anything you want to know about, just let me know in the comments and I can tell you. But it's just, you know, I enjoy playing with makeup, so this is it's an excuse to come and, you know, put a face on, play with some makeup and have a catch up with you guys. So this video is less of an update about me, to be honest, this time around, and very much more of an update about Adam. So Adam is my fiance. Some of you will, if you've been around for a while, you'll have seen Adam in videos here and there. He's not been in a video for a while. We've been meaning to. We want to do a wedding update video together, so hopefully that'll be coming soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But yeah, Adam, my fiance, had a little bit of a accident, a little bit of an incident last Friday. So it's a week ago yesterday now. Adam was playing football, and I got a phone call from him and he was like, really? Sorry about that, guys. We had to switch things up a little bit there. My room is just being a nightmare to light today because the sun keeps going in and out, and I had loads of lights on me to try and like make it all work, and then the battery in one of them died, and I'd spent so long setting these lights up that I was like, we're moving, we're just going to use the natural sunlight, and if the sun comes in and out, we're just gonna have to cope with it, because I didn't quite have it in me to figure out the lighting. Again, to be honest, I could have just found the cable for the light. It is what it is. We're in a new position. I was gonna start the video again, but then I was like, you know what? You've already done your foundation. We're all friends here. We can cope with a change of setup. It's just, you know, indicative of how everything is going right now. So yeah, I don't know exactly where I was. I think I was telling you, I think I was just starting, which is good. So Adam was playing football and I got a phone call from him and he was like, hi, and I was like, what's happened? What have you done? Now, we've talked a little bit before about the fact that Adam has some health problems. He's fine most of the time, but sometimes it does cause him some issues. He has a condition called Marfan's, which means that he is more liable to things like what has happened this week happening. So he was on the phone and he was like, hi. I was like, what happened? What's happened? I could tell, I could hear it in his voice. So he said he was running for the ball whilst playing football. And whilst he was running, he felt like someone had like tackled him and just like taken his legs out. And he was in pain and he heard a pop and he was on the ground and he looked up to like see who had tackled him, and there was no one there. No one there. No one had touched him. No one was anywhere near him. So he knew pretty instantly. He said, I think I've done something to my Achilles. So yeah, long and short of it, Adam has unfortunately ruptured his Achilles tendon, which is really, really not fun for him. Like, bless him. I feel awful for him. Like, I am being a bit jokey because it's like, you know, we like to keep it lighthearted around here, and it's better than just being like, oh my god, everything's so rubbish. But at the end of the day, like, it's a really, really quite like serious injury and causes a lot of pain, and I really, really, really really fun recovery period ahead of Adam. So yeah, he at that point, he had a suspicion he'd like done something to his Achilles, because he said that he couldn't like really put any weight on his foot. And we did some research, and everything he said, the feeling like someone had taken out his leg, the pop, the not being able to put weight on it, were all leading to the fact that it was something with his Achilles, probably a rupture or like a tear of some sort. So yeah, we spent Friday night last weekend in A&E. If you are not from the UK, A&E waiting times in the UK at the moment, or well, they have been for a while, are pretty rubbish. Like, I'm so grateful that we have the NHS, and I'm so thankful for everyone that works at the NHS, and it is no one in A&E's fault that this is the situation, but it can be quite like standard to be waiting to be seen in A&E for like 10 to 12 hours, especially when you go on a weekend. So this happening on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening was not the most ideal situation. So yeah, we were in A&E on Friday evening. I think we got back at 5:30 in the morning. So yeah, it was a long stint. They did an X-ray, just, I think, to be safe, just to make sure he hadn't done like any damage to any bones, and that came back all clear. And we eventually got to see a doctor who did a like reflex test on Adam, where like you squeeze a part of the calf and the ankle should move because of the way everything is connected, and like nothing was moving. So at that point they were like, yeah, it's definitely your Achilles, probably a rupture, probably like a full tear, but you need to go and see a specialist to like get it all scanned properly and find out for sure. So they put Adam in, like, it wasn't a full plaster cast, it was like a back, like the back of his ankle was plaster and the rest of it was like padding and fabric, but just to keep him all like together and protected till we could go and see the specialist. So yeah, we managed to get him home. He's been in quite a bit of pain, bless him, though he handles pain better than anyone I've ever met. But yeah, we managed to get him home, which was good. I need a bronzer. Everything, I'm so skew-if, guys, because everything is over there and I'm over here. And I also should caveat this, that I am still on my ADHD medication journey, and I'm still having ups and downs with that, where I'm like just trying to figure out the right dose and the right medication and like how I am at different points in the day. So, and I'm still finding like talking to camera a little bit tricky, which is really frustrating. I'm not going to go on about all that in this video. If you want to know more about that, I'll link my life update from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so you can check that out. But yeah, if I'm seeming a little bit like off compared to normal, it is because I'm still, you know, experimenting with this medication that can sometimes, you know, really affect my communication skills. So yeah, let me just get a bronzer. Let's use this one. Where was I went off on a tangent, which is never good at the best of times. Yeah, so we got him home. He was in the cast. He was on like absolute strict rest, keep that leg elevated and still, until we got to see the specialist. The specialist did a ultrasound and confirmed that he has definitely ruptured his Achilles. It's a full tear, so there is a gap that should not be there. His Achilles is in 2 pieces instead of 1. You have to forgive me if I get any of this like technical stuff wrong, because when you are like with doctors, whilst Adam's doctor is absolutely incredible, they do throw so much information at you so quickly, so it can be a little bit tricky to like absorb it all. But yeah, so the ultrasound confirmed that he has a full rupture, a full tear, bless him. So he's got a bit of a long recovery process period ahead of him. So we are trying to heal it the conservative way first, if possible. So there's 2 ways they can heal a ruptured Achilles. One involves surgery and one is like doesn't involve surgery. So we're trying that route first. So he's currently in a big like moon space boot type thing. And basically his, oh, how am I going to show you this? If you imagine this is a leg and this is a foot, and this, what are these things called? Join, hinge. This hinge is a ankle. They have his foot positioned in this boot so that his foot is pointing down. So he's kind of like stood on his tiptoes in a way in this boot like that. So what that's doing is bringing the two edges of his Achilles close enough together that they should hopefully over time reconnect themselves. Honestly, if anyone is a medical professional out there, I've just, you know, that's a new way to explain a ruptured Achilles if you needed a more visual way to explain it to anyone. Yeah, so he's in a boot now, and we're gonna give it 4 weeks, and then he's gonna be scanned again, and if it's not healing in the way that the doctor would want to see at that point, then we'll reassess and see if surgery is like a better option for him. But yeah, it just means that life that was already pretty chaotic at the moment, because Adam has been looking after me so much whilst I've been on like this up and down journey with the ADHD medication. He's been really like supportive and taking a little bit of the brunt of looking after things at home, and just like emotionally supporting me, which I'm really thankful for and really grateful for. And we are still going through that. We now also have the fact that Adam is on his recovery journey, so things are just a little bit chaotic here. I'm also really annoyingly going through like the busiest, most hectic period at work I've ever gone through in my life. Not in like a bad way, there's just a lot of like work and client deadlines and stuff, so there's just a lot of stuff happening for us at the moment. So yeah, it's just, life's not quite going to plan. I mean, I'm not like, it's not super awful. We are okay, we are safe, we are fine. It's just, yeah, it's been a bit up and down. So basically, from what I understand, we'll spend the next 4 weeks with Adam in that really like pointed position on his toes. And during that time, he's like pretty much keep your foot elevated, put a teeny bit of weight on it, but really try to avoid anything that could risk like your foot moving and the gap stretching again. So he's playing a lot of video games, watching a lot of TV. We're trying to keep him entertained, because Adam's such a like busy, active person. So this is just not an ideal scenario for him, bless him. So yeah, we will go back in 4 weeks for another scan to see if the tendon is Achilles tendon. It is a tendon. To see if it's starting to heal itself. And if it is, they will, so basically the boot that he's wearing has a stack of wedges in it to keep his heel higher than his toes. And what they'll do is, if they can see that it is healing, they'll take one of the wedges out so his foot is at a little bit, like a bit less of an angle. And we will keep doing that. I think we'll go back every week or 2 weeks until the point where he can put his foot flat on the floor, and everything is still connected. And I think that's when he'll start physio. So I think it's a 2 or 3 month process to get him to the point where his foot is in a normal position, and then it is the start of physio. So I think in terms of time wise, it's gonna be like 6 months until he's mostly back to normal, or whatever normal is gonna look like after the injury, and then it's a year to be like fully recovered. So yeah, it's just I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. It's really not funny, and it's just like a really bad timing for it to, I mean, it's never a good time, is it? But it's kind of it is a bad time, but it's also a good time, because the doctor had said, because of Adam's Marfan's and because of the way that the Achilles ruptured, it is most likely it was going to happen at some point anyway. So it was going to happen now, it was going to happen in a month, it was going to happen in 6 months, it was going to happen in a year. And like, we're very glad that it happened. If it was going to happen anyway, now was the time for it to happen, even though we've got all this other stuff going on, because in just under a year we are getting married, and obviously he doesn't want to be in a boot or on crutches or like unable to really enjoy himself at our wedding, and then we're going on honeymoon afterwards. So if it was going to happen, it's a good thing that it's going to happen, like that it happened now. We'd obviously much rather it didn't happen at all. That would be, you know, the better scenario here. But if it was going to happen regardless, if it was inevitable, this bronzer is looking interesting. Better that it happened now, and he can get healed and back to living his normal life before the wedding. Right, I need a blusher. Also, I don't know whether I've just put like a bajillion tons of that bronzer on, because I've been putting bronzer on for a very long time whilst using it as a visual representation of how you heal an Achilles tendon. Blusher. So let's use my little Milani Dolce Pink blush. So yeah, that's what's been going on. So there's just quite a few things happening. I'm working a lot at the moment, and also going through still, you know, getting to grips with that plane is so loud. I feel like the world has tried to stop me filming today. The world has really like not wanted me to film today, but I woke up and I was determined that I wanted to just take some time to play with some makeup and have a catch up with you guys. So whatever this video turns out to be, whether the lighting's rubbish, whether I've had to change positions, whether I can't talk properly, whether the planes are being stupidly loud and annoying, this video is happening. Oh my goodness, guys, I've never once tried to say that I've got it all together, because I absolutely do not. Yeah, so that's what's happening. We are just taking it really easy right now because, oh, I've just knocked the camera. I've had a couple of like super long days this week at work and hospital appointments and things like that. So we're just having a bit of a quiet weekend. We were hoping to sit out in the sun for a while, but the sun that was meant to come today has not like decided to come. Instead it's been raining, so that's just great. Yeah. I feel like I should have been doing my makeup so much quicker. This happens every time I do one of these videos. I get so distracted by like talking to you guys that I forget that I should be doing more than putting on a bucket full of bronzer. So yeah, we're just plodding onwards, making content for YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. I'm trying to make it happen, but right now with everything that is going on for Adam and for me, it's not necessarily like the biggest priority at the moment. Adam, bless his heart, can't do too much at the moment because he can't really walk much, and it's still fresh. It's been just a week. Where's my setting spray? So he's still like dealing with the pain and the discomfort. So it means that like I'm looking after Summer in the house and stuff, which is absolutely fine. But between that and work and me still, I swallowed so much of that then, me still very much figuring out my medication, it's not leaving a lot of time and energy for content creation. I'm hoping it'll settle down over the next couple of weeks, but I do have another clothing haul ready for you that I just need to edit. I did a Primark clothing haul, or like a come shop with me video, so that is coming at some point in the next week. I'm not giving myself deadlines. So yeah, if I continue to be a little bit hit and miss, a little bit here and there with uploading, you now know what's going on. Yeah. It's all very fun. One thing I did want to ask is if anyone has had a similar injury, has ruptured their Achilles, do you have any like tips or like any advice, just so that we can make sure that Adam has the best like level of recovery, and also to make the process like a little bit more comfortable, a little bit easier for him. Or if you have had some kind of similar injury where you've had to wear that kind of, you know, the big boot, do you have any tips, any advice, anything that worked for you, anything that didn't work that you think we should avoid? Yeah, I think just any advice or experience that you can share with us, that would be great. I think what Adam isn't necessarily enjoying at the moment is like the discomfort that the boot causes. So if you've got any advice on how to make like wearing the boot for the next month or two a more, I'm not gonna say pleasant experience because that's like unrealistic, but a more like a situation that is easier to cope with, like anything that you can share would be so helpful, because we are 1 week into, I think, quite a long journey. So any like advice and tips and tricks that you have to share would be so appreciated. I'm gonna go and put my mascara on because I mess up mascara at the best of times, never mind when I'm so like distracted and chaotic. So let me put my mascara on and then we'll wrap up this video because I think it's been chaotic enough. So that is probably a good time for me to call this video to a close. But yeah, just thank you so much for honestly the planes are just being so loud today, and if it's so muggy, I wasn't closing the window. I love you guys, but if it's the difference between you guys potentially hearing a plane in the background and me like getting hot and sweaty in this muggy weather, I'm gonna say that the fair end of the deal is for you guys to deal with a bit of the plane noise, though that is right overhead right now, so it's getting even louder. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up now and go and see how Adam's doing, go and see how Summer's doing, maybe take Summer on a little WALK. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end, assuming there's any of you still here. If there is, comment what emoji? Comment a football emoji, which is something I never ever thought I would say on this channel, but in honor of Adam's football sporting injury, comment a football emoji so I can say a massive thank you for sticking with me. At some point I will get back to regular uploads and being a little bit more myself. I don't know when. It's going to be a rocky few months as we figure everything out. Adam's got stuff going on, I've got stuff going on, life is busy, life is chaotic, as I'm sure it is for all of us. So yeah, we'll get there, we're doing okay. That's the most important thing. We are in good spirits. Adam is getting the pain not completely under control, but I do think every day it's getting a little bit easier, and he's figuring out like how to manage things a bit more every day. I think it's going to be a really long learning process, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, any tips, any tricks, any advice, so welcome and so thanked and appreciated. Can't not get my words out. But yeah, I should probably end this video because otherwise it's just gonna get more and more chaotic. So thank you guys so much for watching. My next video will be a Primark haul, and then after that we shall see what happens, but I'm hoping that I can keep up with videos here and there. If there's anything in particular you do want to see, let me know. Always grateful for suggestions and ideas. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're all doing okay, and yeah, we'll catch up soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.